Welcome everybody into the Dragon's Lair here on the campus of Howard Community College. Matt Trudell and Mark Winkle here with you today where the Cecil College Seahawks visit your number 16th ranked Howard Community College Dragons. Dragons 7-0. They're 4-0 in the conference, 7-0 at home this season, undefeated in the last 38 games. Cecil comes into today 4-4. They're 1-0 in the conference on a one-game winning streak, and they are 0-1 on the road, though, only playing on the road once, and that was at Monroe Community College. They lost 84-77. They are coming off of a victory against Baltimore City, 108-88. Let's welcome in Mark. Mark, what are some of your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Cecil Seahawks coming to the Howard Dragons. These are two of the best teams in the region. Every time these two teams go at it, it's always a dogfight, and you have to wonder who is going to come out on top. For Cecil, it's a little bit different this year. You know, this is a team that finished third in the nation just a couple years ago at the national tournament. Typically, they've been one of the top teams in the region, if not in the country. This year, a little bit different. Their shooting is just not quite what we're used to. I mean, with the exception of their last game against Baltimore City where they shot 56% from the field, this is a team that's really only shooting on the year 38% from the field. They're still putting up points. They're still averaging over 79 points a game, so they're still getting their volume points. It's a team that's not shooting as great as we're used to for Cecil, and you have to wonder with the way the Dragons are usually able to slow down with their tenacious defense. If Cecil doesn't get the amount of volume they get on the shots throughout the year, will they not be able to really hang with the Dragons?
Two things that could help this Seahawks team coming into today. They are actually fifth in the nation at steals per game. The Dragons operate a very good defense as well, but they get 14.9 steals per game, so practically 15 steals a game. And another thing to look out for, they are actually 19th in the country at free throw attempts per game. And, you know, both the Dragons teams on Tuesday night struggled from the free throw line. You know, it kind of kept Hartford in the game, in the men's game on Tuesday night. They were able to make their free throws. The Dragons struggled. Cecil gets to the line a lot, something to watch out for tonight. The Dragons, though, however, they did slip a little bit. They're now third in the nation at points per game given up. But still, top 5 in the nation in defense. Got to give it to Will Thomas. You know, really coaching them up. The Dragons are welcoming in this tough team. They are coming off of a game that was, I would imagine, tougher than they expected it to be on Tuesday night. How do you think they respond to that rough game on Tuesday night?
Well, yeah, like you said, you know, the Dragons are only giving up 55 points a game. You're going up against a team that's averaging 79 points a game scored. So something's got to give in there. For the Dragons, yeah, I mean, it was an ugly game. There's nobody that will say otherwise. But it was an ugly game against a really good team, a well-coached Hartford team. And now the Dragons are going to go up against another one. So you're right. It's a matter of how they respond to having to win against that kind of tough defense, that tough team on Tuesday. You got one day of rest, and then you come back and have another one. You know, I can tell you, I was at practice yesterday for the Dragons. They didn't really go hard. You know, they're like, we need a little bit of a light day, a little bit of a day to take it easy, and then be able to refocus again today. So hopefully Coach Smokison is pulling all the right strings with this team and can find a way to pull out another win at home.
All right, let's start with the starters. We will go first announcing the Cecil College Seahawks. They're going to start number 3, Dominic Carrington. He is actually the leading scorer of this team, 16.4 points per game. Then number 12, Nafari Benjamin. Number 20, Myron Bevins. Number 21, Vernon Simmons. And number 33, Luke Moore. They are coached by head coach Ed Durham. He's assisted by Brian Selby, Mike Jerome, and Kendrick Sumter.
Yeah, and some interesting notes for Bevins. It's his first start of the season. He's played in all 8 games, but not having any starts. He's only averaging 3 points per game. So Coach Durham pulling out a little bit of a different stop. You know, I'm not sure how well prepared the Dragons are for him because they might not have been prepared for him to be a starter. So that little bit of a wild card there. I do find it interesting. You've got 2 teams where their head coaches, the men's basketball team, are also the athletic directors. So Certainly, you know that they're going to be prepared. They're going to put their time in, that's for sure. And they're two coaches that know each other very well. They've been up against each other many times in their careers. For the Dragons, they don't fix what ain't broke. It's going to be Kaleem Jennings running the point again, Jalen Bowie as the off guard, Ben Murphy playing on the wing, and then the front court of Marquise Freeman, Andrew Mills. Those two have been starting all year long, and there's no reason to change it up, especially Andrew Mills coming off of another fantastic performance. 24 points against the Harvard Fighting Owls to lead the Dragons to victory in that game. We'll see if he can do it again tonight.
All right, we are about a minute and some change away from the opening tip-off. We're going to step away while they do the starting lineups in the national anthem, and we'll be back for the start of the game. All right, we're back here in Columbia. Andrew Mills is going to go up against Luke Moore for the opening tip-off. He knocks it down to Kaleem Jennings, and Kaleem Jennings gets blocked at the hoop, but number 12, Nafari Benjamin, steps out of bounds, so the Dragons will have possession again. They're going to set the shot clock to 24. I thought he had possession.
Yeah, I did too, but I guess they're just going to keep it at where it was.
All right, back underway. Mills gets the pass from Jennings. Jennings gets a pass from Freeman. Turnaround jumper. Nice shot. First points on the board tonight for the Dragons. And they're going to start with some pressure.
And that's a good job by Kaleem Jennings. He's struggled shooting recently, so hitting the first basket right off the first possession, that's a good sign for him to start out and hopefully get some positive momentum going.
Moore misses the pull-up jumper right in front of the free throw line. Dragons get the rebound, and they're heading the other way. Murphy gets it down to Freeman. Freeman posting up, kicks it out to Murphy. Murphy spins out to Freeman for a not deep three, but a three. Misses it. Andrew Mills gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up and scores it, and flexes on number 20, Myron Bevins.
Yeah, it's a great possession for the Dragons. The dribble drive by Ben Murphy kicks it out, a wide open three for Freeman, and the hustle of Mills. Good start for the star forward for the Dragons.
Moore misses a turnaround shot right around the hoop. Ben Murphy gets the rebound. Oh, he gets pickpocketed, but he's able to get it to Jennings. Gets it down to Freeman. Freeman reverse layup and makes it. Dragons up 6-0.
Yeah, it's just a perfect start for the Dragons right now. The quick ball movement is just catching Cecil completely off guard defensively.
Simmons now with the ball for the Seahawks. Kicks it out. Three-point shot missed and rebounded by Bowie. And they call a foul on number 12, Nafari Benjamin. He is the one who missed the shot as well, so kind of a double negative for him.
Yeah. We talk a little bit around these parts about how the Dragons this year are playing a lot of positionless basketball for the most part, and you see the guards like Jalen Bowie going up high for that rebound. You just love to see the fact that the guards can post up and rebound. The forwards can shoot from outside. It's a fun team to watch, just well balanced.
Ben Murphy misses the layup but gets his own rebound, puts it up and in, and gets fouled. So you have a chance at a three-point play. The foul is going to be on Myron Bevins of the Seahawks. Yeah, you talk about both Mills and Freeman can make three-pointers and crush it around the basket, and the guards can drive, make shots around the basket, stretch. It's a wonderful situation to be in.
Yeah, it's a totally different team than what we've seen from the Dragons the last couple years. You know, Coach Smelkinson before hasn't really been that kind of coach where he likes to have the exact roles and all that. And this year it's just a little different. But you know what? He knew it. He knew the team that he had going into the year. They've devised a scheme around the personnel that they've got this year. Obviously, the record shows that it's working so far.
And, it's early. We're only about 2 minutes into this game, but 8 points scored, 4 different players have scored. That we've relied a lot on Andrew Mills last game. Murphy has a chance to become the leading scorer of the game, making this a three-point play if he makes this free throw here, which he does. So it is 9-0. The Dragons up by almost double digits within the first 2 minutes of this game. Carrington is going to start running a play for the Seahawks. Gets it over to Bevins. Now inside, two-handed jam. Good ball movement by this Seahawks team. Simmons gets the dunk.
Well, the Seahawks respond to Coach Durham calling the timeout less than 2 minutes into the game, and a good offensive play for the Seahawks. Again, I think they just need to calm down a little bit, understand that, the game just started, but we haven't yet, and they're able to get a good possession, get their first basket.
Kaleem Jennings picks up the foul, the first foul for the Dragons. Freeman gets the inbound. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was Carrington. Yep.
Mills now with the ball, just from past the free throw line, makes the jumper.
And that's bad news for the Seahawks. When Andrew Mills starts hitting those mid-range jumpers and you have to start coming out on him and respecting that, he's just going to start beating you in every other way. Andrew Mills loves that mid-range jumper, and yeah, that was just a beautiful shooting stroke right there.
Benjamin with the ball for the Seahawks. gets it to Bevins. Now Carrington, 5 seconds. It gets stolen away by Kaleem Jennings on the pass. And he's going to hand it off to Ben Murphy.
And that was started because Ben Murphy just stood his man up. It was just one-on-one. Murphy kept his guy there, so then he had to try to pass it away, and Jennings was able to get his hand in the passing lane.
Jennings gets the pass down low, gets it out to Ben Murphy for 3. He misses it short. Carrington gets the rebound. He's going to throw it up to Simmons. Simmons gets his pass knocked away by Jalen Bowie. 16:43 left in the first half. Dragons up 11-2.
Howard starting the game with their 3-2 zone defense, so Jennings will have the freedom to be up top and be aggressive. And apparently aggressive as a soccer player, just as much of a basketball one right there. But Coach Smelkinson loves to mess with his opponents on defensive side, I should say, and Coach Thomas. You know, I shouldn't take credit away from him, but they love to switch back and forth between zone defense, man defense. Makes it really tough for any opponent to know what plays to run when you don't know what your defense you're going to go up against.
Vernon Simmons hits a shot from the free throw line. Makes it 11-4. Kaleem Jennings now with the ball for the Dragons. Gets it to Jalen Bowie. Now Marquise Freeman driving on Moore, bounces it out to Murphy. Murphy gets it down to Mills. Mills turns around, shoots the shot, and hits that one. It's beautiful. It just...
When Mills hits those mid-range jumpers, really,
Oh, Ben Murphy steals the pass, stares down Carrington, and hits the two-hand jam.
You know, Coach Durham showed some composure in that first time out, trying to just calm his team down. Now he is starting to lose it. He is just trying to get something out of his team, and the composure is starting to go, and the anger is starting to come out.
And another turnover, the third turnover by the Seahawks team. Now for 3, Mills misses it. It goes out of bounds.
You got to love Andrew Mills immediately turning to his coaching staff and apologizing for taking the shot. And the coaching staff said, no, you're good. You know, you hit your first 2. Keep shooting.
Yeah.
No big deal. Nobody's worried. But obviously airballing it, you know, he didn't feel good about that one. But it's good to see the coaching staff support him anyway.
Ben Wallace airballed 2 free throws back in the day, so even the best, you know. It happens to everybody. A foul is going to be on Ben Murphy, and Carrington will go to the line for free throws. These are not the first free throws of the game. They're Cecil's first free throws of the game. Ben Murphy made the 1 free throw for the Dragons already.
Yeah, it was a great job by Carrington to try to catch the Dragons a little bit off guard. Howard, they were in their full court press but didn't transition back into their zone quick enough, and Carrington just pushed it. Murphy had no choice but to foul.
He makes both free throws. Marlon Lewis and Jordan Strickland came into the game for Luke Moore and I believe Myron Bevins, yes. So now Dragons with the possession. Marquise Freeman gets it to Ben Murphy. Murphy's looking for Mills, but he's going to just get it back out to Bowie. Now Kaleem Jennings. Mills hands it off to Freeman. Freeman will shoot the 3, and he makes that. Nice shot, big time. Dragons have a 12-point lead. Now Benjamin with the ball for the Seahawks. Just gets it over the outstretched arms by Murphy. He bounces inside. Mills with a hand in the face. Missed shot by number 23, Lewis. And then they're going to call it out of bounds off of Jalen Bowie.
And another great defensive possession for the Dragons. Just Cecil can't move the ball right now. They can't get the ball into the paint at all. The Dragons, with those active hands, they're blocking all the passing lanes, so Cecil forced to just jack up some long-range shots. If this is the way that it's going to go, Cecil is in a lot of trouble because, as we mentioned before, they're not a great shooting team this year.
Kevin Neal comes in for the Seahawks. Coach Durham making quite a few changes to his lineup, trying to find a spark off the bench. Drive it under the basket, might have got away with the extra step. Mills blocks it. The block is on Jordan Strickland, and now Kaleem Jennings.
How good is Andrew Mills defensively? Just stood his ground, stayed up straight, and then when the shot did go up, he perfectly got his hand right in there to block it.
Marquise Freeman gets his pass stolen away. Carrington misses the layup. And a foul is going to be called on number 22, Marquise Freeman. And going to the line is Jordan Strickland.
The contrasting defensive styles of the two Howard forwards will always make me laugh. Andrew Mills, just the stalwart wall. He just stands there and doesn't let you get any space. Freeman, on the other hand, he's the gambler. He's the one that's going to go for the highlight reel block, and sometimes it gets him into a little bit of foul trouble early on, so Coach Smugson just taking him out before he gets into that second foul. But he does have a lot of blocks this year, so you can't say it doesn't work.
Shane Taylor and Kobe Baptiste come in for Marquise Freeman and Ben Murphy. Strickland makes the second free throw, cuts the Dragons' lead to 10. Kaleem Jennings gets it across the line, gets it to Baptiste. Now Taylor, could have moved to his right, gets it to Jalen Bowie. Inside to Shane Taylor, nice take, he misses it. Rebounded by number 22, Kevin Neal. He bounces it, but it's a little too wide for Strickland.
Yeah, and I don't think Neal needed to pass that one. I think he had an open lane. Yeah, he had the open teammate that was next to him, but Neal, just take one more step and go right to the basket. You're either going to get an easy bucket or you're going to get fouled, maybe both. I don't think the pass was the right decision there.
Bowie gets it into Shane Taylor, who posts up the defender and makes a shot. Kind of talking about that contrast of play there.
Positionless basketball, the guard posting up in the middle of the paint and able to put the hook shot up.
Now Carrington finger roll, misses it. Rebounded by Mills. He's going to throw it up to Baptiste. Baptiste gets around the defender and lays it up for an easy bucket.
And we talk about that last play that Neal should have just gone to the basket. Baptiste does, and it gets paid off for it.
Missed shot by the Seahawks. It's rebounded by Strickland, but it's poked away. So the Dragons now have possession again. Taylor gets it across the line. And now Kaleem Jennings settles it down. 13 minutes and 5 seconds left in this first half. Dragons have 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Baptiste hesitates. He's going to drive, spin, kicks it out to Jennings. Jennings for three, misses it. Baptiste gets the offensive rebound. Bowie makes the three. Coach Durham is not happy. It is a full timeout by the Seahawks. We're going to step away. 25-8 is the score. 12:49 left in the first half.
I'm on track to get 2 degrees. I definitely have expanded my network of people that I can rely on, and I feel more prepared going to a four-year university from Howard Community College.
And then he traveled second time and he just lost it.
Yeah, whatever. I'm so good.
All right, we are back. Both teams still in a huddle. Let's go over some stats. Dragons shooting 11-18, 61% from the field versus Cecil only making 2 shots out of their 10 attempts. Both teams 100% from the free throw line. 5 turnovers for this Seahawks team so far. Dragons 8 assists. 8 assists to 2. Very impressive. And 7-2 on points off turnovers. So things are going really well for the Dragons so far. Leading scorer Andrew Mills. Ben Murphy has Mills has 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Murphy has 5 points, 2 rebounds, and Freeman has 5 points, 1 assist, and 1 rebound. Vernon Simmons leads all scorers on his team with 4 points. We are coming out of the timeout. Seahawks gets the ball in. There's been a few changes. Frank Toney is now in the game. Neal with the ball for his Seahawks. Throws it up, just gets it to Strickland. Strickland drives, he goes for the dunk, and he gets blocked by Omich Wilson, who just came into the game for the Dragons.
And Omich Wilson is just absolutely an incredible athlete. He jumped up and was a foot taller than Strickland was on that one, and he didn't have to do much to block it. He was just there. His long arms perfectly in position there.
Shane Taylor's pass a little behind Baptiste, and now the Seahawks had an open three, missed it, and then Ethan Wilson tried to smack it out of number 23 Marlon Lewis's hands, and there's going to be a technical foul called on Marlon Lewis. Marlon Lewis is lucky not to pick up a second technical. He's been kind of battling with everybody. So Shane Taylor will go to the line for the technical free throws.
Yeah, and that was one where I think he was kind of responding to the Dragons flexing on some of their early ones, their early baskets. So Lewis was deciding to flex a little bit on the Dragons there and did so just a little bit more than the referees were comfortable with and gave him the tech.
Both free throws converted for Shane Taylor. And now he will head back to the other end to have the possession again.
And it's a shame, too, because for Cecil, it was a really good play by Lewis to set up, I believe it was Simmons on the basket. Oh, no, excuse me, Strickland. So Cecil finally, gets a really good possession. They get a hard basket. And, when you're down by 17, you're trying to find some positive momentum, and then you get teched up and give the 2 points right back. So certainly a little bit of a mental mistake for the Seahawks, to say the least.
Strickland gets called for the foul in the inbounds. Taylor misses the three. Strickland drops it back to Neal. And now the Seahawks. Neal needs help, gets it over to Simmons.
So we see the Dragons now in a man-to-man defense. Baptiste playing in the 4 down there against Strickland and gets called for the foul, trying to reach around and poke it.
Kobe Baptiste picked up the foul. Now coming into the game is number 15, Chris Medavia. And he's going to come in for Vernon Simmons. Neal with the ball on the baseline gets it into Strickland. Strickland bounces it.
I don't know how that's not a travel.
And they're going to call a foul.
Looks like he went down to the ground and was rolling around with the ball in his hands. It's usually called a travel, but I guess they're saying that the Dragons fouled him on the path of rolling around.
The foul is on Omich Wilson. Strickland will come out of the game for number 40, Darian Barrios Rivera. Now the inbound goes to Lewis. Now Neal spins around. Taylor gets a piece of it. He gets his own putback. They reset the shot clock, I think. Tony now over to Rivera. Now a 3 in the corner for number 15 is good for Medavia. 27-13.
Yeah, and Cecil caught the Dragons trying to bite a little bit too much on the steal, and some quick ball movement opened up to open 3-point attempt.
Nice pass by Taylor, who gets it to Omich Wilson running on the baseline. He makes the shot and will have a chance at a 3-point play.
Omich Wilson came out of nowhere on that one, just flew up the court. Taylor would look like he wanted to go for the jump shot and saw Wilson at the last second, and a beautiful flip over to him for the easy bucket and the foul.
Barrios Rivera picks up his first foul, and in the game now is Cam Watts comes in for Kaleem Jennings. Omich converts the 3-point play. Now Neal gets it to Tony. Tony throws it all the way up to Medavia. Now Neal thought about a 3, fakes the pass. He's going to back out. Now he's going to take on the defender, bounces it over to Medavia. Medavia will shoot the 3, and he makes that.
And that's probably the weakest point of that 3-2 zone defense for the Dragons, is right there on the wing of the three-pointer, because then you've got Baptiste who's got to come all the way out to try to challenge on that one.
Dragons are somehow able to get it, and then it's knocked out of bounds. So it'll be Dragons ball.
Yeah, it's a good question by Coach Durham, and I would ask the same question. It's a tough one. It's close about whether Cecil actually had possession before giving it away again. The referees are going to say that there was possession, so then the shot clock was reset for Howard.
All right, Cam Watts gets it into Wilson. We're back underway after a hectic few seconds.
Gotta have a little chaos in there.
Cam Watts misses the 3, rebounded by Baptiste. He puts it back up and makes it.
I love Kobe Baptiste. I love the way he plays basketball. He just plays so tough. He was talking about a little bit after the game on Tuesday about how he just didn't get into the game as much as he wanted to. Didn't have as much of an impact. So what does he do? He gets in the game early, and he has made a big impact so far early in this one. So I would imagine we're going to see plenty of Baptiste today if he's going to keep this up.
He also has the kind of he plays
Oh.
calm like Andrew Mills does, just from a guard perspective. Baptiste gets called for the charge.
Yeah, that was another borderline one. It could have gone either way. Can't fault the referee for either way because that is a tough one. There was a lot of contact, maybe a little bit off center, but certainly the Cecil player in the middle there stood his ground, and therefore can't fault the charge call.
The other end, Neal gets it over to Tony. He was left alone. He's going to throw it all the way across the Metavia inside to Lewis. Lewis is going to take on Omich Wilson. Omich Wilson gets a hand on it. And now Kobe Baptiste gets it to Ethan Wilson. We're back on the other end.
Dragons already up to 4 blocks on the game, just making life very difficult for the Seahawks.
Cam Watts misses the 3, and it goes out of bounds, so it'll be Seahawks ball.
Have we ever seen Cam Watts miss his first 2 shots in a game before? It seems like it never happens. Like if he misses his first one, you just know the next one is going to go in guaranteed.
Yeah, and the second one was closer than the first one, so maybe third time is a charm.
He's not a guy that lacks for confidence in his shooting. I have a feeling it's not going to be the last shot he takes today.
Barrios Rivera misses the shot. Tony gets the offensive rebound. Neal shoots a 3, and Wilson comes down with the rebound. They're going to call a foul. Foul's going to be on number 21, Vernon Simmons. That's his first.
And that's another tough one because both players were going for it. And, yeah, Baptiste got to the ball, and it was the hand of Vernon Simmons as he was trying to go for the rebound. Yeah, you can see Coach Durham signaling. He's like, but he's going up for a rebound, and, it's Baptiste's fault for putting his face in the way of my hand, trying to rebound.
Yeah. He's essentially saying it's not patty cake. There's going to be some contact. Baptiste misses the front end of the 1-and-1, so the Seahawks survive that. Metavia now gets it over to Barrios Rivera for 3, and he hits that. And he's been a nice little spark coming off the bench for them so far.
Yeah, a good-looking three-point shot there. He's averaging only a half a three-point shot made a game, but he's certainly knocked that one down. A beautiful shooting stroke.
Shane Taylor gets it to Baptiste. He can't handle the pass, but then he's left alone. He's going to drive in, 2-point shot. Looked like he got hit on the arm. He misses the shot, but the Seahawks come down with the ball. Pass through the legs. Now Barrios Rivera is left open for 3 again. He misses that short. Baptiste comes down with the rebound. Hands it off to Wilson. Wilson's able to get by the defender. Now Omich Wilson. Oh, that's got to be a charge. That is a charge on Omich Wilson. And that's why you don't get the ball to bigs that far away. (32-19), the Dragons are up. Shane Taylor comes out of the game for Ben Murphy. Unfortunate for Omich Wilson to get that offensive foul, but it was definitely the right call. Kind of telegraphed what he was going to do. Neal now with the ball to Tony. Metavia. Tony's going to drive baseline, kicks it out to Neal. Neal gets it smacked away by Watts. Good defensive play. He's able to keep it. 12 seconds left. Now Barrios Rivera misses the 3. Cam Watts comes down with the rebound. And Murphy now heading the other way, gets it to Ethan Wilson.
Rivera really feeling that three-point shot now. He's got 4 attempts. I can't fault him. He's getting open looks. I mean, if you're the Cecil coach, you can't be mad at that shot there. All of his attempts were really good looks.
Third time the charm for K.M. Watts. I didn't want to say it too early, but I could see by his body language. It was like 35-19. Dragons are up.
No, it's okay. You can say that one in mid-air. That's like a Steph Curry, running back to his half of the court before the ball is even in the basket. You just kind of know.
Barrios Rivera now on the inside misses it. Ethan Wilson comes down with the ball. A lot of rebounds for Ethan Wilson in the past few possessions.
He's had 2 in a row, and they were both tough defensive rebounds. And again, we talk about the guards. They're willing to get scrappy. They're right in the paint. They're getting those defensive rebounds. They had a little bit of an issue with giving up offensive rebounds. And contact there up against the Howard bench.
Baptiste's pass was stolen away. Ethan Wilson knocks it, and they call a foul, and Tony because Wilson was able to have a heads-up play and get back to the ball, so he will go to the line. Omich Wilson comes out for Mills. You know, and how nice is it to build that much of a lead with Mills on the bench, and now he just comes back in. Wilson.
That's true. You barely even noticed that he was missing because it was just such a good stretch for Howard.
Wilson misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Seahawks now with the ball. Metavia gets it down low to Neal. Good eyes, but they have to bring it back out.
That's got to be a travel. Oh, man.
And they're going to call a foul.
Oh, that was a whole lot of steps before any contact was made there. And I could see Coach Smelkson talking to the referee on the near sideline, kind of pleading his argument, and looked like there wasn't too much disagreement from that referee. But foul is called, and that will be Murphy's second. He's going to have to come out.
And now Simmons makes his first free throw.
Or not.
Kobe Baptiste comes out for Marquise Freeman. Both free throws made by Simmons. Wilson now on the other end, gets it across the line, gets it to Cam Watts, gets it back to him. Watts hesitates, kicks it out to Wilson. Wilson for three, makes that one. 38-21.
How many times have we talked about the outside shooting opens up the opportunity to try to drive in. Cecil was biting on the shot, so Watts able to dribble right around him, get into the paint. They have to then collapse on him, open look for Ethan Wilson. A great possession for Howard.
So a turnover by both teams. Metavia gets it to Strickland. Strickland misses the shot, misses his putback. Battle for the ball, goes down. Simmons out to Carrington. Carrington for three, misses it. There's still a battle for it, and finally put up and in by number 21, Vernon Simmons, I believe.
Yeah, and that was a rough stretch for the Dragons, but really good effort by the Seahawks. They were all flying in there for that offensive rebound. They needed that basket badly, and they knew it.
Cam Watts open for three, and he hits that one. I think Metavia's injured.
Yeah, he does look like he's limping around a little bit, but wanting to try to push through for his team.
Metavia gets it inside to Simmons. Extra pass to Strickland. Strickland goes up, lets the floater go and lets it drop.
Yeah, and a good possession as Simmons found the soft spot in the middle of the Howard zone and then dished it off to Strickland underneath the basket.
Wilson's pass is knocked away. Cam Watts is able to recover it, gets it to Wilson. Wilson's going to drive, kicks it over to Mills. Extra pass to Murphy, one more to Wilson. Wilson, nice fake. He shoots a three, misses it, and they're going to call a foul on Andrew Mills.
What a beautiful set of passing for the Dragons. Perhaps the first one across court a little bit on the gambling side, a little iffy, but everything else looked good, and I love the fake pass by Wilson. As you know, that seemed like the obvious play to just do one more pass in the corner, open himself up for the wide open three-point attempt.
Tony will come into the game. Frank Tony. Now at the line, shooting a 1-and-1 is Marlon Lewis. Misses that. First missed free throw by the Seahawks. And now Wilson with the ball. Cam Watts to Wilson. To Mills. Mills for three. Misses it. Rebounded by Simmons. He gets it up to Carrington. Carrington throws it away to Mills. Tries to be a little too cute with it.
Yeah, and I think he was looking for, I believe it was Tony, who was making the run inside, and then he kind of split out and went outside instead, and Carrington didn't see that. He was expecting him to keep making the run towards the basket.
Wilson's pass a little errant. It goes out of bounds, so Kaleem Jennings will come in, and it will be Seahawks ball. There's 4:05 left in the first half. Dragons up 41-25. Now Tony gets it to Carrington. Carrington throws it inside to Strickland. Strickland bounces it baseline to Simmons. It gets knocked out of bounds by Cam Watts. Defense and three-pointers. Cam Watts. Now Tony looking to inbound it, gets it out to Simmons. Simmons is going to move to his left, bring it all the way down, gets the layup at the basket to drop for him. Kaleem Jennings now.
And the Dragons just didn't do a good enough job of shifting over. Came off of the screen and just really just hooked right around the Dragons defense and able to get to the backside for the reverse layup.
Cam Watts gets the pass from Freeman. He gets tripped by Tony. Cam Watts is going to go to the line. Barrios Rivera comes in for Tony, who just picked up his second foul.
And if you're the Seahawks, it's not the man that you want to see going to the free throw line. And it was a silly foul, too, because Tony was just trying to come out and guard Watts further out because he knows the range that Watts has shooting, and just ended up stepping on his foot, it looked like, in the end.
It's interesting that they didn't have anybody to try and rebound on the 1-and-1.
They have that much confidence in Watts' shooting ability, that's for sure.
Missed three by Carrington. Mills gets the rebound, gets it to Cam Watts. Watts going to have to slow it down, gets it back to Freeman. And now Kaleem Jennings is going to settle it down. Murphy, turnaround jumper around the free throw line, makes it. It's a beautiful shot there.
And Ben Murphy just makes it look so easy. That turnaround jumper, nobody in his face. He gets so high up on the court.
Strickland gets stolen from, and Kaleem Jennings gets the pass from his teammate and lays it up at the other end. Dragons up 18 points.
Even the most optimistic Dragon fans could not have seen this margin in the first half against such a great program in Cecil.
Strickland out to Barrios Rivera, who gets it baseline to Lewis. Lewis misses it, but he is fouled. They're going to put the foul on Marquise Freeman. Is that his third?
No, it's only his second.
Okay.
But once again, Freeman trying to go for the block, and it's the fact that he sweeps across with his arm. You have to just time it so perfectly if you're going to have that kind of technique, because just if you catch any kind of arm, the referees see you coming across that arm and are just like, all right, any contact skin to skin, they're going to call the foul on you.
Lewis misses the first free throw. Cam Watts and Marquise Freeman come out for Omich Wilson and Jalen Bowie. Lewis for the second free throw makes that one. Now Jalen Bowie gets it over to Kaleem Jennings. We're back underway. Just under 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
Jalen Bowie's only taken one shot in this first half. Made it as a three-pointer. Would love to see Bowie try to get the ball in his hands and get a little bit more aggressive.
Kaleem Jennings gets it down low to
Omich
Wilson.
What a great play by Jennings. Again, being able to just attack the middle of the zone and force the attention to him just takes all of it off of Omich Wilson for the easy layup.
Carrington now is going to shoot the three. Misses it. Strickland tries to come down with it, but Mills comes and ends up securing the ball. Kaleem Jennings now. Dragons up by 19. Have a chance to push it over 20 on this possession. Bowie had the three if he wanted it.
And that's what I'm saying right there. Bowie, just take the ball and go towards the basket. Be more aggressive. Just love to see him get a little bit more confident with his ability there.
Simmons steals the ball. Misses the shot, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Dragons. So Simmons now gets the inbound for the Seahawks, gets it to Carrington. Back to Simmons. Carrington gets inside to Lewis. Extra pass to Strickland. Strickland draws the foul on Omich Wilson. Good play by Strickland.
Yeah, Omich Wilson completely bit on the pump fake there. And we see the Dragons go for that often, the elevator passes, they like to say, where they get it to the middle and then just one more across, and the man on the back post is just wide open oftentimes.
Jordan Strickland misses the first free throw. He has 6 points and 5 rebounds in this game. He's only 2 of 6 from the field, and now he's 2 of 3 from the line.
Yeah, and I think the Dragons coaching staff just realized that Omich Wilson just picked up his third foul and needs to get protected.
Strickland misses the second free throw. Lewis got the rebound and gets it to Strickland, who scores the basket, so he gets 2 points not from the free throw line, but off of a layup. Now Mills over to Bowie. Inside to Murphy, and Murphy is fouled by Strickland.
Yeah, and you could tell Strickland knew exactly what was going to happen the second it happened. He slapped his hands just knowing, man, I'm going to get called for that foul. And the referees have been consistent with that. When you have your arms around the player trying to, trying to get the steal but making contact, they've been calling it consistently in this game.
Murphy makes the first of 2 free throws. O'Meach Wilson does come out. Murphy makes the second free throw. 49-30. Carrington now with the ball. Going to get it across. Gets it to Barrios Rivera. He bounces to Moore to Lewis from the free throw line. Misses it. Rebounded by Kobe Baptiste. He hands it off to Kaleem Jennings. 45 seconds left.
I think the Dragons want to go for the 2-for-1 here.
Oh, Bowie got it to Jennings. Jennings misses it, and Mills dunks the putback. And they will have a chance at the 2-for-1. Lewis misses the layup at the basket. Mills gets it, and now the Dragons will have a chance. 24 seconds left in the first half.
I'm a little surprised that Coach Smelkinson not calling a timeout here. Usually he'll use the use it or lose it here and set up a play, but letting his guys just go at it.
Mills misses the 3. Rebounded by Lewis. Lewis is going to bring it up and throws it back to Rivera. Now a 3 for Carrington. He makes that, and that will be the end of the first half. Dragons are up 18 points at halftime. Stay tuned. We will have a interview with Coach Willis.
I decided to come into Howard Community College because I was interested in brushing up on my Excel skills. I have also been able to join Career Links, which is a platform for parents who are in school. And I have this network support of other women or other parents trying to make life better for their families. So HCC has the capacity to serve families, not just individuals. That's what I wanted to say.
All right, Matt Trudell back with Coach Willis. Coach Willis, what's your thoughts on the first half?
Man, a surprise. We played hard. Good way to start this is a big game. It was a good way to start the game. We're excited how we played. It didn't end the half well. We wanted to get a 2-for-1 there, go in better, not let them score, but it's all good. We got to keep the same energy and keep the same. The score is 0-0 going in the second half.
Well, it's a tough game from the free throw line last game. You're 6 of 8 in the first half. And, it was a struggle. Andrew Mills had 24 points on Tuesday night, but everybody else kind of struggled to score the basket. Your first 8 points of the game, 4 different people scored. What are your thoughts on your overall team performance?
I mean, that's how we thought it was coming into the season. We knew Andrew was going to have a big part, but we really thought the catalyst of the team was everybody being able to score. We're a deep, physical, good, talented team. So we kind of expected this, and that's what we want to get more like. It's hard to scout us and hard to know when you got different people scoring. So that's how we wanted to be.
It is definitely a luxury when a different guy can take over. You have Cam Watts can take over a game, Kobe Baptiste.
Absolutely. Guys off the bench can be our leading scorers, and that's the beauty of it. So we're just happy that we can, make it happen in that way.
Well, you got an 18-point lead at half. Good luck in the second half, and we will be back, everybody.
My man, appreciate you. Love.
All right, welcome back for this halftime interview, and I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Joel Webb.
How you
So
doing?
glad
How
to
you
have you
doing?
back here in this gym. So, the regional championship winner. I mean, you had a few great years here at Howard.
I loved it.
Uh,
Fun years. Good
yeah.
fun years.
What was your favorite part about being here as a Dragon during those years?
Never losing here. Never losing at home. That's the best part. And I can keep saying that forever.
Yeah. So you made your way to Bowie State. Here you're playing some good basketball over there, Joel. Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
about that.
We're playing good basketball right now. We haven't been on the winning streak yet, but we're looking to turn that around the second half of the season. Well, when we get back against December 8th against Augusta.
So there's a lot of stigma sometimes put on players that go the JUCO route. And for a player like you, you had all the ability in the world. What did it mean to you to take, to go to JUCO first and then be able to make that into your opportunity to get to a great school like Bowie State?
It humbled myself because I didn't really think the JUCO route at first, but when I took that route and I trusted Coach Mike Snokelson, and he just walked me through the whole process, and I put all my trust in him, and it got me where I'm at today.
So I got to ask you a question. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this one. What's it like taking orders from a guy barking at you at 5'6"? Like just you're standing over him and he's sitting there yelling at you. Like what's that mean? How does it take for a guy like you?
Well, I know Coach Mike mean business, so so I listen to him. I know what he's talking about. I get what he's talking about.
Tell me a little about what it's like to take orders from Coach Will Thomas too. I mean, he's the defensive guru around. He's a character to say the least. What's your take on Coach Will Thomas as the assistant coach here?
He's a great coach. He's going to stand on your back if he loves you. He's going to tell you he hates you, but he loves you. He loves all his players. But he's a great coach, honestly, great coach.
Now you played with a few of these guys that are on the court today.
Yes, sir.
Who do you like here for the second half to have a big second half in the Dragons uniform?
I need a dunk from Ben. I need a deep three from Cam. What else? Kobe, I need a dunk from Kobe. I need a dunk from Shane, too.
What about Kaleem?
Oh, yeah, I need a dime, a sweet dime and a three. And it's his birthday. Happy birthday, my boy.
That is true. Happy birthday to Kaleem Jennings. You are right. Well, so you want a little bit from everybody. I like it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Joel, it's a pleasure to have you here. You're always welcome. Forever a Dragon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be back with you for the second half in just a few minutes.
All right. See you.
All right, welcome everybody back into the Dragon's Lair here on the campus at Howard Community College. We are just seconds away from the start of the second half. Dragons are up 18 points, 51 to 33. Dragons 57% from the field in the first half to 28.9% for the Seahawks. Just excellent performance all around for the Dragons. A little turned over the ball a little too much, but you know, Ben Murphy leads all scorers. Well, all scorers on the Dragons, 9 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Vernon Simmons, 10 points, 2 rebounds. The Seahawks will start with the ball. Lewis gets blocked from behind by Mills on the opening possession. Now Murphy gets it down low to Mills. I don't know how he got that pass in there. And he puts it up for the basket.
And a great start for the Dragons, but big difference in that first half. 57% shooting from the floor for Howard, 28% for Cecil. Big difference there, as we talked about how Cecil just not quite the shooting team that they used to be.
Simmons answers back with a layup, so still stays at 18 points. Okay, so we have Carrington makes the basket on the other end. A timeout is called. We are going to step away. All right, we are back underway. Sorry, we have some technical difficulties on the video, but I'm hoping you guys are still hearing me. Stolen away out of the timeout. Simmons has it. He gets blocked by Murphy. They're going to call a foul. I think they're going to call it on Jennings. The foul is on Jennings. That is his first foul. Going to the line will be Simmons. Coach Smelkinson called a timeout. Not happy with his team's energy coming out of the locker room for the second half. Simmons makes the first free throw. The score right now is 53 to 38. Second free throw, misses that, rebounded by Marquise Freeman, and he gets it Kaleem Jennings. 53 to 38, Dragons are up. Ben Murphy now gets it, dealing with the press from this Seahawks team. And now Freeman, drive baseline, gets it over to Bowie. Bowie open for three, misses it a little too strong. It's tapped away by the Seahawks, and it's corralled by Carrington. Carrington gets it up to Lewis. Lewis goes baseline, reverse layup is converted. Nice take by Lewis. We appreciate your patience. We are back. Kaleem Jennings now gets it across the line. He gets it slapped away by Carrington, who gets it to Simmons, who slams it down, two hands. And just like that, the Dragons are only up by 11 points. So a quick 2-minute surge by this Seahawks team. Just gets it across the line. Murphy now gets it tapped away. Jennings comes down with it, gets it to Mills. Mills gets it out to Bowie. Now Freeman for three, and he answers. Much needed three by Freeman. Makes it a 14-point game.
And it reminds me a little bit of Tuesday, just a whole lot of chaos here to start this second half.
Tony now gets blocked by Jalen Bowie. You know, the Dragons started on a 9-0 run to start this game in the first half, and they were answered in the second half with a little run by the Seahawks. Dragons are up 14 points still
Yeah,
Now
but
Freeman.
good job by Coach Melkinson to slow the game down a little bit, let his team work through the offense. Unfortunately, a little bit of a forced shot there by Jennings.
Kaleem Jennings misses the deep two. And now the Seahawks, Carrington over to Barrios Rivera. He's going to drive baseline, bounces it into Lewis, who gets another dunk.
Yeah, and the Dragons look a little disheveled on offense and defense right now, just not quite their same focus that they had in the first half. Maybe getting a little bit too confident after that dominating first half and not taking their opponent seriously enough so far in the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Jennings over to Bowie. Now Murphy. Now Jennings. Jennings gets the defender up in the air. Jennings gets it back to Murphy. 2 seconds. Murphy forces the shot off the backboard, misses it. And now Tony gets the rebound. Coach Smelkinson yelling to his team. Carrington misses the three. Simmons gets the offensive rebound. He goes up, makes it, and has a chance at a three-point play. Cuts it to 10. He can cut it to single digits with this three-point play. The foul's on Marquise Freeman. That is his third foul. Baptiste Wilson and Omich Wilson come into the game for Jennings, Mills,
And
Freeman. Sorry, I missed him.
Yeah, so the Dragons completely changing up their front court there. And no surprise, the defense was not good, the rebounding was not good, so just need some fresh blood in there, somebody that's willing to go in there and work a little bit more in the paint, giving up offensive rebounds, giving up layups, all the things that you don't want to see your forwards giving up.
Baptiste gets, and that's a kick ball on the Seahawks.
And just bad luck there for Tony because he was off to the races and then ended up just having the ball roll under his foot.
There's a discussion. It got over the line.
Yeah, I agree.
He kicked it into the backcourt.
It's not a bad attempt by Coach Durham to try to make that argument, but I believe you're right. I think the ball had gotten into the front court, so the referees did make the right call to just give the 20-second shot clock reset for Howard.
Baptiste out to Wilson, now Bowie. Omich Wilson back to Bowie. Bowie's going to drive, kicks it out to Baptiste. Baptiste is going to go baseline, kicks it out to Wilson for three. He misses it. The battle for the rebound comes down to Simmons. Now Carrington. Dragons move to a 1-3-1. Now Tony inside to Lewis. Lewis spins around, goes up strong, misses it, and the rebound comes down to Jalen Bowie.
And Coach Durham not happy, thinking that he should have gotten a foul called against the Dragons for that one. Hard to argue. There was a lot of contact between a lot of players in the traffic there, but a big defensive stop for the Dragons. Now, where's their offense going to come from? They just haven't had any good possession here so far in the second half. Somebody's got to try to make a play, get into the paint a little bit more. That's not the way to do it.
Baptiste gets the ball stolen from him. Carrington misses the layup, but it's put back by Tony on the other end. Now Wilson gets it up to Murphy to get across the line. Dragons are only up by 8.
You know, I was just about to say, Howard just struggling on offense right now. Maybe bring Cam Watson just to have at least that shooting presence on the outside would be a good idea. And sure enough, there he is at the midline.
Wilson got fouled by Carrington. Cam Watts will come in for Jalen Bowie.
None of the Howard starters get a whole lot of time here in the second half so far. Ben Murphy, the only one that survived the call from Coach Smelkinson.
Baptiste go drive baseline, gets it to Omich Wilson. He gets stripped. It goes out of bounds off of Tony of the Seahawks, so it will remain with the Dragons. 9 seconds will be on the shot clock.
And that's great awareness right by Tony because he was stopping the dribble drive and then he's able to turn around and just slap the ball out of the hands of Wilson.
Wilson out to Watts. Watts is going to drive, kicks it out to Ethan Wilson. Ethan Wilson misses it, and now heading the other way is the Seahawks. Simmons.
That's got to be a travel.
Does not get the shot to go. And now Wilson heading the other way off of Ben Murphy's rebound.
Simmons collected it, took 2 steps, and then took 2 more as he went up for the shot. I don't know what the referees were watching on that one.
Yep. Wilson now over to Ben Murphy. Now Baptiste. Baptiste is going to drive, spin. He's going to have to take it up off the backboard, misses it, and he gets called for a travel.
Yeah, and for Baptiste, I think he just picked up his dribble a little bit too early there. If he had just kept dribbling, he could have taken 1 more there and gone a little bit more stronger to the rim rather than having to just trying to pivot his way around.
And he'll get a break at the bench. Andrew Mills comes in. Now Carrington gets it to Tony. Tony thought about a 3, throws it into the center for Simmons. Simmons makes the layup at the basket. 6-point lead by the Dragons. An excellent third quarter so far for this Seahawks team to able to withstand coming into this half only down by 18. Omich Wilson makes a 3.
I think is that the first 3 he's taken all year?
I don't remember him taking a 3. Carrington.
Certainly a good time to make one.
Barrios Rivera hits a 3 on the other end.
That was the first 3 he's taken all year, so
Wow.
good for Omich Wilson to come up at a big time. 100% shooting from 3-point range. Good for him. But yeah, it's now 20-8 for Cecil in the second half so far, and they've cut it down to just a 6-point Howard lead when it seemed like this game was done and dusted.
Murphy steps in, takes a deep 2, and gets it to drop. Tony now with the ball for the Seahawks.
And you can see why Murphy is still in there. He's just such a settling force and just takes a good shot when the Dragons need a good possession.
Missed shot. Ethan Wilson comes down with the rebound.
I mean, part of this is Cecil just couldn't miss in the second half. You know, at some point they have to regress back to the mean and not going to hit everything, but a lot of these have been layups that the Dragons are giving up.
Andrew Mills, grown man ball down low, gets the ball to drop. Back up to a 10-point lead by the Dragons.
That's just the strength of Andrew Mills, along with the great footwork where he's able to create his own space inside the paint.
Lewis's pass a little too strong for Simmons. It goes out of bounds.
You know, a lot of focus is put on big men for their tall, their size, you know, all of that. But a lot of times it's the footwork that really separates the great forwards from the ones that are just the big ones.
Carrington gets the steal and puts it in on the other end. Back down to an 8-point lead by the Dragons.
Carrington is absolutely harassing these Dragon guards and is creating a lot of turnovers so far in the second half, getting a lot of easy buckets out of it as well.
Yeah, the Seahawks definitely came out with more intensity. And now a steal by Strickland. He gets it to Tony. 3-point shot for Barrios Rivera drops. Just like that, it's a 5-point lead by the Dragons. A full timeout on the court by the Seahawks. 63-58, 11-13 left in the second half. We'll be back.
It was easy to access HCC classes online. The flexible schedule allowed me to run my household, and I finally get to be a lead teacher next year.
Howard Community College just gave me what I needed to successfully start in a new job that I'm absolutely passionate about.
It's just been a great experience working and still being able to go to school. The best part is that I get to build these professional relationships that I wouldn't otherwise get to do in a typical college setting.
All right, back here in Columbia. Dragons coming out of the timeout called by Cecil, but I'm sure Coach Smelkinson used that time to try and put some spirit into his team, come up with a game plan of how to, you know, stretch this lead back out at 18 all the way down to 5. They brought it back up to 10, but just like that, back down to 5.
Yeah, and it's just one of those situations where everything going right for Cecil in this second half so far. They're shooting well, they're creating turnovers, and they're just making things awkward for Howard offensively. Just no rhythm for the Dragons at the moment.
Wilson over to Watts. Watts for three. Misses it. Rebounded to Barrios Rivera, and now Tony heading the other way.
Watch for Vernon Simmons, 9 of 13 from the floor, 21 points, and he's just been doing it all in the paint. Here he goes again.
Simmons gets, they call Omich Wilson for the foul. I don't know if that could have been an offensive foul. It could have been a travel. It could.
That was my thought as well. He definitely shuffled the feet before he went up with the shot.
And he got away with a little bit of an extension, but 2 shots coming Simmons' way.
And now it's 4 fouls on Omich Wilson. That certainly is going to hurt because he's been playing well in there and just giving the Dragons the energy that they need, and we're lacking. Now he's got to come out again.
Simmons gets the first free throw to drop. Up to 22 points.
And the Dragons have to replace him with Marquise Freeman, who's on 3 fouls himself. So the front court of the Dragons a little bit low on depth right now and with the foul trouble.
Both free throws good for Simmons. It's a 3-point lead by the Dragons. And, first half definitely went the way the Dragons like to play, low scoring on the other team's end at least. And, now they've already given up more than their average, I believe.
Yeah, they absolutely. Yeah, they came in at only averaging giving up 55 points a game.
Ethan Wilson for 3, misses it.
Yeah, that's a good call. And I saw it. Andrew Mills trying to get to the rim to go for an offensive rebound, and the Seahawks just did a great job of boxing him out, so he tried to push his way through into the paint, and certainly it was a two-handed shove by Mills.
Carrington now with the ball. 9 points himself on this game. Gets in the air, almost hit the ground for a travel, but is able to get it off. Tony throws it out to Carrington. Carrington steps to his left, shoots the 3, and he hits it. What a shot. Tied the game up 63 all.
And it took Cecil just 10 minutes of play to erase an 18-point deficit. We are now tied up.
And they call an offensive foul on Ethan Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson just doesn't look like he is comfortable right now, talking to his teammates about trying to get some help. But again, I don't know why you pick up your dribble there. If you're trapped, you don't just pick up there and, look for somebody to bail you out. Just keep dribbling, work your way around it. Go backwards if you have to.
Carrington spins back around. Good defense by Ethan Wilson.
Oh,
looks like he got away with a little bit of a shove.
It looked like Carrington hooked his way around Wilson.
Now Barrios Rivera trying to drive on Freeman.
That's fantastic defense by Freeman.
And they're going to call a foul.
Oh,
they call
man.
a foul on Andrew Mills.
Oh, man. That's the 3rd foul on Mills. So now all 3 of the real front court forwards that the Dragons use are all at either 3 or 4 fouls.
Strickland.
And there's going to be the 4th on Freeman. Oh, bailout by the referees to give it to Watts instead.
Cam Watts picks up his first foul.
Yeah, he will happily take that for his team. Was probably lobbying to the referees to call it on him rather than on Freeman.
Right. Good teammate move. Strickland now has a chance to take the first lead of the game for Cecil. He misses the first one. Dragons fans get a little joy out of that.
They take great pride when players miss free throws because they think that they had their effect on it, and oftentimes they're not wrong.
Second one drops, 64-63, the first lead of the game for the Seahawks. Cam Watts gets it to Wilson.
Seahawks coming way out on Watts, not giving him any space to shoot from 3-point range.
Taylor gets the ball smacked away from him, but will remain with the Dragons.
And I like the idea by Taylor to drive, but he's just got to protect the ball a little bit more. He left it out and exposed so that the Seahawks could strip that one away.
Wilson gets it out to Freeman. Freeman gets his pass smacked away, but Taylor's able to recover. Now Freeman bounces over to Mills. Mills, 2-point shot, gets fouled on the shot. So he would go to the line for 2 free throws.
And again, we've talked about it all season long. The emphasis for the referees this year is to have players not take away the landing zone of the shooter. Tony, he didn't really make contact with Mills going up, but as Mills was coming down, Tony was in the spot that he was landing on, and that's why he was called for the foul.
And that is his 3rd foul. Andrew Mills makes the first free throw. Was just thinking I would try and get Andrew Mills involved. I think he's a little frustrated with the way the fouls have gone his way in the second half, and I think he's primed to possibly take this over. Starting from the free throw line, he takes the lead back for the Dragons.
Don't take away from the play of Shane Taylor on that last one, though. The ball was going into his own backcourt. He was able to tip it quickly over to Freeman and make sure with the shot clock running out that Howard had enough time to get a decent shot off when Mills got fouled.
Absolutely. He has brought some energy off the bench. You cannot leave Barrios Rivera open. He misses the 3. Freeman comes down with the rebound. Got a little bailed out there. Now Wilson. Taylor's going to drive baseline. He does get fouled. That is on Barrios Rivera.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he took the worst of it. I think he took a little shot there as Taylor was going down after getting fouled. But another good drive by Taylor. Like you said, he's bringing the energy to try to spark something for the Howard right now.
Lewis comes back in for the Seahawks. Murphy comes back in for the Dragons. Freeman, extra pass. One more. Now Taylor drives baseline, shoots the 2, misses it. Coach Smelkinson wanted a call for the smack on the arm. Now Tony gets it back to Carrington. We are in a dogfight when we thought this was going to be somewhat of a coast. I mean, after the way the first half happened.
Depends on when you ask. If you asked me before the game, I would tell you that would be a dogfight.
Lewis misses the layup somehow. Taylor gets the rebound, gets it to Murphy. Murphy gets it out to Taylor. Now Wilson, Freeman.
I think the entire arena was wondering why Murphy didn't just go up to the basket when he's right next to the rim there.
Murphy to Mills. Mills around the free throw line. He gets it to drop. A 3-point lead by the Dragons.
What a play by Murphy, able to work around his 6th assist on the game for the wing player. And again, it's the mid-range jumper of Andrew Mills, now 7 of 10 from the floor today.
Carrington shot a little too strong. Andrew Mills, I'm telling you, it's Andrew Mills' time. That's what he did on Tuesday night against Hartford when teams were struggling. He just said, give it to me. I'm going to take care of it. And the Dragons are looking a little bit more like the Hartford game in this second half right now. I would look to, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And Wilson is trying to get it to Mills.
Taylor misses the 3. It's rebounded by Simmons.
Dragons struggling a little bit to break through the Cecil defense right now. Would love to see Kobe Baptiste back into the game to give him that little bit of a slasher attitude to get into the paint a little bit more with a dribble drive.
Missed shot, and then Shane Taylor gets an elbow to the eye. The foul is going to be on number 10, Strickland. That is his 3rd.
Referees a little mixed up on the scoreboard there. They're thinking it was 1-on-1, but it's actually Howard with 7 fouls. So Cecil is in the single bonus. That was just the 4th foul of the half by Cecil.
Now Freeman over to Taylor. Gets it up to Wilson. And now the Dragons will be able to set things up. Taylor.
Mills trying to post up. They do get it to him this time.
And they call a travel on Mills.
I mean, if you're going to call that, I will give you a film of about a dozen other ones that should have been traveling as well.
At the same time, NBA refs should aspire to be more like these guys. Frank Toney now with the ball for the Seahawks. Gets it across the midline. Now Simmons. Oh, left alone, Lewis is. He gets the oop on the opposite side of the basket.
Yeah, Dragons just caught napping. Nobody followed Lewis making the curl route around.
Freeman for 3 along the baseline. He hits it.
That's huge for the Dragons.
And Coach Smelkinson calls a timeout. I believe it is a full.
No, 30
It's a
second
30,
timeout.
so we will stick with you here in Columbia. Let's go over some stats. So I think it was 28% in the first half by Cecil. They're up to 38%. Dragons were at 57. They're down to 51. Both teams shooting in 36.8% for Cecil, 33% from three. Both teams shooting a high free throw percentage. But again, Cecil came into today averaging 25 free throws a game. They already are up to 18. The worrisome part, Dragons, 17 turnovers.
Yeah, that's the one that I had highlighted in my brain. 17 turnovers is just way too many for this team that usually just plays with such good composure. And again, you got to give a lot of credit to Cecil. They are playing a tenacious defense. They are being aggressive and forcing the turnovers.
We've watched a lot of teams come into this gym and be down 18 points at halftime for it to only get worse in the second half for them. And the way that they've responded, I mean, Coach Ed Durham is an excellent coach. We've watched him for years now, and he really got his team to respond for the second half. So we are back underway. Carrington, his team down 4. Simmons shoots a 3, and he makes it, so cuts it to 1 just like that. Simmons now up to, I believe, 26 points.
Yeah, needless to say, Coach Durham has made one or two halftime speeches in his career, and certainly whatever he said in the locker room today, it has certainly worked. This team is a totally different team in the second half than what we saw in the first half.
Murphy, mid-range jumper, misses. Tony comes down with the rebound. He can take the second lead that they've had. He travels like 14 steps. They're going to call a foul, and they'll have a chance at a three-point play.
The aggressiveness of Frank Tone, who really hasn't had much of an impact in this game, at least offensively, and just got aggressive there, able to make that one and give Cecil the lead. What a time for it.
I don't understand how you call Mills down on the other end for a travel, and this kid walks from the free throw line. Tony now makes the three-point play. So just like that, the largest lead of the game for Cecil, 2-point lead, 72-70. We are just at about 5 minutes left in regulation. Yes. Murphy gets it across.
Cecil has led this game for all of about 20 seconds combined, but it's the end of the score that matters most. And right now, Cecil, they've got all the momentum going their way.
Mills, nice shot. Gets it to drop, ties it back up.
And if you're the Cecil Seahawks, you cannot let Andrew Mills get the ball in that spot. That is his spot. He is going to punish you every time if you give him that much space around that area.
Simmons gets around the defender, makes a shot at the hoop.
And then on the other side, it's Vernon Simmons who has put his team on his back. 28 points for Vernon Simmons, 11 of 15 from the floor.
I think this is the most points individual performance that we've seen in this gym so far this year.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, Simmons comes in averaging 13 points a game, so just a career day for him.
Murphy blind throws it away to Simmons. Simmons gets it up to Strickland. Strickland. He gets blocked from behind, and they call jump ball. It will be Dragons' ball.
I was about to say, if that was going to be called a foul, I don't know. But a great play by Mills to get the block from behind, had his hand just all over the ball. And in the end, I think that was actually a great call by the referee to call the held ball.
Coach Durham wanted a flop on Shane Taylor. Now Wilson. Murphy over to Mills. Baseline three. Misses that. Threes have not been his game tonight. Wilson gets the ball thrown off of him.
That's a great play by Dominic Carrington. His momentum carrying him out of the court, had no other option to keep it in other than just throwing it up back into his backcourt, which he didn't want to do. Just a great hustle play by Carrington, gets his team possession.
Lewis can't handle the pass, but it drops to Simmons. Now another oop, missed by Lewis. And now Murphy smacks it away, but it drops to Tony. Tony's open for three, misses it, rebound. Goes to Strickland, he loses it, and Mills comes down with it, and now Freeman heading the other way.
Dragons just caught completely napping again.
Freeman for three, misses it. It goes over the backboard.
The alley-oop was wide open again. We just saw that play a couple minutes ago. They run the same play. It works again. Unfortunately for the Seahawks, they just couldn't complete it on the end of it. But then again, the Dragons are watching the ball bounce off the rim. bounce around. Seahawks get the rebound on it, and Howard just needs to wake up a little bit.
Bowie and Jennings come in for the Dragons. Freeman gets the block. It goes down to Tony. He's going to back it out. There's 14 seconds on the shot clock. Tony. Mills gets in the way. Passes down low to Lewis. Lewis gets blocked by Freeman. And
Wow, what a late call that is.
So late. That is the 4th foul on Marquise Freeman. So 2 free throws coming Lewis's way.
The ball had already come back down to Lewis, and he was about to go back up with it when the whistle blew. And you're right, that is the 4th foul for Freeman. That's going to be a tough one for Howard.
Lewis makes the first one, blows a kiss to the fans. Second free throw is good. A 4-point lead. It's a full timeout. We're going to step aside. Dragons down by 4. 2:45 left in regulation.
My experience was really positive. I had really flexible professors.
It was my first online class. I quickly knew they was going to take my full energy, my full effort. A lot of my teachers, they were able to work with me and help me succeed in every area.
I was able to complete all my classwork on time and maintain my GPA. And when we went to our remote classes, my teachers were able to actually help me through the semester.
My online class was just as engaging and fun and just as formative as a class in a classroom.
Matt Trudell and Mark Winkle back here with you. Mark, Dragons out by 4 points. There's 2:45 left, so there's plenty of time. But what do you think Coach Smelkinson was telling his team?
Well, I mean, you see a 9-4 discrepancy on fouls in the second half. 9 against Howard, 4 against Cecil. And that's not necessarily even all the referee's fault because Howard has just stopped being aggressive towards the rim. I would love to see somebody from Howard trying to just go towards the rim a little bit more, especially if it's Bowie or Murphy.
Andrew Mills misses the 3. Rebounded by Carrington.
And Dragons, again, they've been settling for three-pointers way too much. They need to get the ball into the paint, just get some easy baskets to get some points on the board.
Simmons now with the ball for the Seahawks. 12 seconds left. He's going to drive, pull up for a jumper, hits it. Big-time shot.
30 points for Vernon Simmons. And now that you're down by 6 with less than 2 minutes, now you have to start looking for three-pointers. Cam Watts is begging for the ball on the outside.
Bowie makes a tough floater in the lane, gets it to drop under 2 minutes.
Of course, right as I say, you need to work it outside. There's Bowie doing exactly what I'd asked for before about being aggressive for the basket. That's a huge basket for Bowie.
Cam Watts picks up the foul. That'll be his second.
And the 10th for Howard, so that's going to be 2 free throws the rest of the way for Cecil.
Yeah.
Again, I can't say enough. Jalen Bowie is way too talented of a player to only take 3 shots in this game. You see that last play, there's no reason he shouldn't have been doing that for a lot more than 3 times in this game. You need to see him getting the ball out on the perimeter and then trying to make a play himself. And I'm not trying to compare him to Deshaun Eaton, but just the way that Eaton was able to do that, you need a little bit more of that out of Bowie.
Both free throws are converted by Tony. Cam Watts now. Murphy turnaround 2-point jumper, too strong, rebounded by Tony.
And again, you can't fault Murphy for taking that shot. That's a shot he's been taking all day. He's been making a lot of them. It was a good look for him, and unfortunately that one just didn't go down.
Cam Watts picks up his third foul. Tony will go to the line.
So now on the court, you got Murphy with 3 fouls, Watts with 3 fouls, Mills with 3 fouls, Freeman with 4.
Makes the first one.
Tony came into this game only shooting 50% from the free throw line.
All right, so a 7-point lead. Cam Watts gets it to Freeman. Freeman shoots the 3. Little too short. Strickland comes down with the rebound, but then it's stripped from Murphy, and then Strickland fouls Murphy. So Murphy goes to the line for 2.
That's a huge play for the Dragons. If Cecil was able to come down with that ball and get possession, that was almost game over at that point. So Murphy staves off the death note just a little bit more by making that play, and a good job by him keeping Howard's chances alive.
Makes the first one, down to 6. Cam Watts comes out of the game for Kaleem Jennings. Apologizes to his coach. Murphy makes the second one. Coach Smelkinson calls a full timeout. We're going to step away. 76-81, Dragons down, 1:13 left in regulation.
It was easy to access HCC classes online. The flexible schedule allowed me to run my household, and I finally get to be a lead teacher next year.
Howard Community College just gave me what I needed to successfully start in a new job that I'm absolutely passionate about.
It's just been a great experience working and still being able to go to school. The best part is that I get to build these professional relationships that I wouldn't otherwise get to do in a typical college setting.
All right, Matt Trudell, Mark Winkle back here with you. It's going to be the Seahawks ball. 1:13 left on the clock. Dragons going to put a lot of pressure. They need it to get some turnovers.
Yeah, and if you're Howard, you don't need to foul here on this possession. You can let this one go out and try to get the ball back on your side without fouling.
Tony gets it up the court, gets it over to Strickland.
But it has to be a defensive stop.
Yep. Simmons is going to drive in. Backs out, gets it to Tony, and then Kaleem Jennings gets called for the foul.
And I understand what the referee saw. Jennings was trying to swipe at it. I don't even know if there was contact on it, so
Yeah,
it was more just like the act of going for the swipe and not necessarily even a foul itself. But again, I can't help but point out that it is now 12-5 in fouls in the second half in favor of Cecil. And
Yeah.
it's hard not to point out that that has made a significant difference in this second half.
Cam Watts comes in for Jennings.
Yeah, and if you're Howard right now, you're going to need a three-pointer from Cam Watts.
Makes the second one, sorry. Bowie gets it up to Watts. It gets tipped out of bounds by Carrington, so it will still remain Dragons ball. 49 seconds left on the clock.
Dragons are just going to try to get a play to open up Watts. There it is.
Watts misses it short. Battle for the ball, and they're going to call a foul on Cam Watts.
Of course they are.
Cam Watts picks up his fourth foul.
think all 4 in the second half, too.
Yeah. Carrington will go to the line. Makes the first one.
Well, we came into this game knowing that the Cecil Seahawks are one of the best teams in the region. Yeah, the first half was certainly in favor of Howard, but they're there for a reason, and they're certainly showing their stripes today.
This is going to be a tough one for the Dragons to swallow. You're not going to go undefeated in the season. So it is important. It sucks, that this is looking like it might end up being a loss. There is time left, but it is a 9-point lead for this Cecil team. I mean, what a comeback for them. Down by 18 at half. I mean, they just came out on fire in the second half, and the Dragons were not ready to match their energy.
Yeah, and all the credit should go to Vernon Simmons in particular. Dominic Carrington as well. He helped lead the charge in terms of ball handling and defense, but Vernon Simmons offensively has been absolutely fantastic, and Howard had just not had the answer for him.
Murphy misses the 3. It's rebounded by Simmons, and then Carrington is somehow able to save a turnover from happening. And that will be the game. Dragons will drop their first game at home. They will be 7-1, 4-1 in the conference, 7-1 at home. It ends a 38-game winning streak.
I mean, the Dragons haven't lost a game at home since 2019. It was going to happen eventually, and certainly the Cecil Seahawks are certainly one of those teams that are capable of doing so. What a performance by them to come away with a victory when they were down by 18 at halftime.
Yep. So the final score here is going to be 85-76. Stay tuned for an interview with Coach Smelkinson, but we'll be back.
All right, back with you for the post-game interview with head coach Mike Smelkinson. Coach, I know that's going to be a tough one for you to take. How are you feeling right now after losing that one?
Yeah, it's a tough loss. It's a collapse in the second half. Guys thinking the game's over with at halftime and not being focused. And give Cecil credit. They came out with the energy. They made a lot of adjustments in the second half, and their press really bothered us. It didn't in the first half. It did in the second half, and they turned it up and got the win.
Yeah, 18 turnovers for you today. Do you attribute that more to lack of focus on your team or just the defensive tenacity of the Seahawks?
A little bit of both. I think that, again, it was just a tale of two halves today. We did a really good job, I thought, in taking care of the ball in the first half, and then a really poor job in the second half. But, again, that can be you can look at Cecil's just tenacity on the defensive side in the second half, so give them credit.
Vernon Simmons came into the game averaging 13 points a game, puts up 30 on you. Was that something that catch you a little bit off guard on him being able to have that effect on the team?
No, I mean, not really. We knew that Simmons and Carrington were their two guys. Carrington played 40 minutes and Simmons played 37 minutes. We knew that the majority of the shots were going to come from those two players. And just give him credit. He hit some really big shots in the second half, and he's a good player. So, at the end of the day, it's a regular season game, you know what I mean? And they're a really good team, and we're a really good team. So I'm sure we'll run into them later down the line.
So I have to say the streak of 38 straight home games finally comes to an end. Did you think that you were going to be able to get through the rest of the regular season home schedule without a loss, or did you think that maybe, looking at the schedule, this is one of the ones where it might have happened?
Well, I mean, we had while we had a lot of home games in the first part of our schedule, we had a lot of tough games. We have a lot of tough opponents. I mean, Chesapeake came in here and took us down to the wire. Hartford gave us a battle, and then Cecil got us. So I just kind of approach it one game at a time, and now we just have to look forward to the next game. That's all it is.
You have played a really tough schedule to this point, and you've had to battle through them, and you've come away with a lot of wins. You got a loss here. Do you think this helps set your team up for the future going forward and being prepared for those dogfight games going down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, you can't win them all. You're not going to go undefeated in a season. So this just has to serve as a learning opportunity for us, and that's what we have to make sure it does.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you on Sunday.
Thank you, Mark.
So that'll do it for us here. Again, a tale of two halves, as Coach Smelkinson said. Howard with an 18-point lead at halftime, erased by the Cecil Seahawks in the second half, and they will go home happy with an 85-76 victory in a critical Region 20 matchup between arguably the two best teams in Region 20, especially in Division II. On behalf of everybody here at the Howard Community College Athletics Department, a big shout out to the production staff for this, the best around. We appreciate all your hard work. Thank you to my partner, Matt Trudell. As always, final score here in Columbia, Maryland, Cecil 85, Howard 76.